work experience in the field of what you do. So when you're actually out in the woods, I'm not actually making my own firewood. I buy it from people because I do have a wood furnace and I know a lot about firewood. And there is let's say, the price is dictated by the thickness of the branch. So if it's a tiny branch, let's say in diameter about a something that's big as a beer can, that kind of thickness, it's usually cheaper, but that kind of wood also burns out pretty fast because it's smaller. And uh, big a bigger log, which is chopped up, uh, burns slower because it's large, so it needs a lot of time to burn up, but that is also much more expensive, and also the type of wood that dictates it. So if you have let's say a log that it is not chopped up, it's a little cheaper than a chopped up one. But a chopped up log actually is better for firewood because it dries up more efficiently. If your wood dries up in a efficient way, stored in a, let's say, a woodshed, the next year, which you're gonna burn up, it burns more efficiently, giving up a lot more heat than it usually does. But it doesn't burn up. It actually doesn't burn that long as the wood that is younger. But younger wood burns longer, but doesn't give the amount of calories it needs. The calories, I mean the heat that produces, or the energy of heat. So there's actually a lot more than just chopping off a log and burning it efficiently. So there's a lot you need to know. So there you have it. A little bit of firewood 101.
Well, as long as it burns, I'm perfectly fine with wood.
Well, yeah, it burns, but sometimes it's not efficient enough. So you're gonna burn up a lot of wood and still be cold. Efficiency is the key.
Efficiency.
Or the calories. It's actually called calories. What the the amount of energy produced.
Okay.
But there's also things that you gotta be careful. Something like pine trees have a lot of calories, but they burn up so hot they actually melt your furnace. The steel starts melting.
I see.
Like a cassia trees, or whatever they're called in English. If you burn up a lot of them, like stack your furnace with all that species of trees, your it's gonna burn so hard that your furnace will start melting. Actually, it's not gonna it will start heating up on the outside. It'll actually turn red. I've seen it actually a couple of times, and what actually it can do. So some type of birds give a lot of heat, a lot of calories, but it's not actually smart to burn them. So that's one thing.
Ah, we're building the tunnel. Nice.
I hope I'm not boring you with all of the wood talk.
No, not at all, dude. If I'm quiet, it's just that I'm trying to focus and trying to think, like, okay, what am I supposed to do next?
Yeah, no, usually when you're playing a game, you're mostly silent. Like if you're playing Mental Omega, you would be dead silent
Yeah.
for the most of the stream.
And that's why I don't
If
like
you're-
to like play as I'm streaming, because I'm quiet.
Yeah, it's difficult to actually talk and concentrate on what you're doing.
Exactly. I'm just not a fan of it. I mean, I wish I could. But it's difficult, you know. There. Now I can pull it.
Yeah, it's like me typing in English, reading something in English, and actually speaking in English, which I don't use at all. So English deteriorates a lot. I was actually surprised. I was talking to my sister. I was like, I know how to speak English, but when I'm actually talking to somebody, it goes to shit. It's not good.
It's not surprising, actually. It's not,
Yeah,
it's not
it-
that surprising, you know. Especially if
Yeah.
it's not your own language, then, you know, you're just gonna be worse at it. And with me,
Yeah, because yeah.
with me, I've always been decent enough in English that, you know, it's kind of a second nature to me. And at some point in my life, during my unemployment, I actually spoke more English than Dutch. Because I would stream every day, and then I speak English.
Yeah, I was with me. I was actually using it, but more in a written form than actually spoken form of English. My spoken form is still Croatian is my main language, and it's vastly different from English. So when I'm trying to speak to anybody, I'm trying to converse, I'm thinking the sentences mostly in Croatian, then translating them. So in that translation, some of the things in Croatian, uh, it's two different things, but in English it's one thing, or in reverse. So sometimes I say things that don't actually translate well into English.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like she told me, imagine somebody who's not Croatian speaking Croatian. That would make a lot of grammar mistakes and a lot of mistakes in speaking a language such as Croatian. Like you've seen our language, some of the words.
I've seen, yes.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. Well, it's simple for me and it's simple for me to understand, but actually somebody trying to speak it, and the grammar in Croatian is unimaginably hard. So, like knowing the grammatical cases and knowing how to use them and when to use them is something, well, I can easily explain it to somebody, but they cannot grasp it because they don't use it at all, or it's much more simpler in their language. So it's not actually, I'm kind of surprised by it. I was always thought I was like, singing is easy, but it's also not. Like I sing all the time, but if I start singing like I'm always on a more serious level, then I would actually find out how bad of a singer I am. So that's actually something that surprised me, but also didn't.
Okay, let's have a look. See. In the meantime, I'm just gonna continue. What do I have? Where am I? What am I doing? I'm actually opening up this area now, rather than starting to work on this. That one has been cleared in its entirety, so technically I should be able to say... all the way to yoink. And yoink. Okay. And then profits.
Yeah, if this gets uploaded to YouTube, just add a description. Don't listen to the drunk Croatian guy.
There.
Look at all the crop fields. So are you gonna remove the ones above?
No, I'm gonna keep them. But I like this.
Isn't this a little too much?
Apparently it isn't.
You have 8,000 food.
Well, 8,000 food can be gone in no time, apparently.
Yeah, it's now 7,500 and dropping.
That's what I mean. There. So, we'll start out with bean. And pumpkin. And bean. And pumpkin. And bean. And pumpkin. And bean. And pumpkin. And bean. And bean. And pumpkin. And bean. And finally, pumpkin. And I still missed a bit of road. There. 23 farms in total. That ought to be enough for a while, I think.
Mm-hmm. Sigmundo. What a name.
What?
Late summer 12. Sigmundo the farmer has died of old age.
Ah, Sigmundo, the farmer.
Yeah.
Aha. Like, what are you babbling on about?
I know I heard of a name Sigmund and Sigismund, but Sigmundo never.
Firewood is low again.
What?
Firewood is low again. I'm annoyed by that. It's constantly firewood.
Yeah, your mic suddenly cut off. You said something and it disappeared. Actually, during the winter, firewood is probably the best month to make firewood is probably March or February, because from the winter the wood is actually drier. So here's another pointer. You can still make firewood during the winter.
I'll put a fishing dock there as well. Get some extra food in. My reserve of logs. I don't know if it's more useful to have like multiple logging cabins in one forestry area. I don't think it is.
Just order your
I don't want to make this my mining area though.
order your people to cut down some wood, stack up on it, and if it happens again, then build a forest cabin. Well, in RimWorld I had a couple of areas, but I didn't plant a forest, but I made a growing zone, forbid sowing, and when the wood was actually was ready for harvesting, the colonists would automatically harvest it.
Let's do it. I'm gonna make this into a forest area as well. I don't need mining yet. It's gonna be a nice forestry area. I guess the mining will be put on hold. Got something here and here anyway. Ah, that forest is done or that bridge is done as well. Excellent. Meh.
What the hell was that?
That sounded like a sheep or a goat.
Let me check.
In the meantime, I'm quickly gonna go to the toilet. I'm back. So, time to build the town hall and the hospital. And storage barn and the brewery. And the market. Build all the things. Stone is low. Logs is low. Is this done? No. Nice. Town hall, done. Hospital's gonna get done.
It was probably something outside because the window's open.
What was it was loud.
Yeah, but I had my headphones on, but I like. I thought that was actually you or something.
No, I only mimicked what I heard. Like if I hear a sheep, I'm gonna mimic a sheep. If it was a meh, then it was a meh.
Yeah, but it was not a sheep because farm animals don't exist around here. Maybe it was a bird or something.
No, that was a very weird sounding bird in that case. But who knows, maybe bird was the word.
Who knows? Well, the window's open and kids would sometimes scream outside like crazy. There's a lot of animals around here. Jackals, cats, stray cats, stray dogs.
Jackals? Cool.
Yeah, jackals. Jackals are the creepiest sounding animals ever because they sound like small children laughing in the distance. It's actually pretty creepy when you hear it the first. I was actually walking around one time, and houses are on one side of the street, and there's a forest on the other side. And from the forest, it's like children laughing. It was like probably just some kids playing around. It was a pitch black dark. And my neighbor says, "Oh yeah, those are jackals." I was like, "What?"
Nice.
Really? Yeah. And one night I actually heard like an animal getting butchered, like screams of anguish.
Nice.
And it was so fucking loud, I was like actually scared. I was like, what's happening outside? I'd opened my window and I was looking around and I thought, yeah, actually, and probably one of the explanations I heard of was an owl can sometimes make sounds like it's an animal being butchered. Like, I mean, imagine like a rat being tortured, but way louder. Like it's coming from something big.
Well, I've decided to make this area into a forestry area rather than a mining area. So now it's just a matter of getting the stone over there, which I'm gonna try and get that bit of stone.
Yeah, but down here alone, so when I heard it I was like, what? Yeah, one time I was actually down here, and I'm on my PC of having my headphones on, and suddenly I hear something like gunshots coming around. Like, what the fuck is happening? So I got up, opened my window, and the jackals came a little too close, and the people probably on a hill above me started firing on them. Imagine sitting here alone and you suddenly hear gunshots or any sort of weird sounds. Pretty disturbing.
Can imagine. Now I have 17 laborers. I'm gonna get a couple more builders then. Do I need? What? Ah, markets.
What does a laborer actually do?
It carries around stuff. Let's put 6 people in there. Carries around stuff to the storage barns, to the markets, to the shipping dock if you have it, and also to building sites, I believe. Builds the roads for you. And for instance, farmers in the winter will become...
Crops dying.
What?
Crops dying.
Yeah, I saw that. But farmers become laborers, not like assigned laborers, just like laborers are laborers over here, but they basically become laborers the moment that you have...
No work for them.
Indeed. So in the winter you'll have extra laborers, and if like a tailor or a tavern doesn't have anything to do, then that person becomes a laborer. What am I? Oh, the tunnel, of course. Nice crop fields.
Well, at least your food reserves are high enough.
Yeah, I'd say they are decent.
I'm actually curious to what that was. The